Hello and welcome to Bottoms Down Chair Yoga for Everyone. I'm Carol. I'm so glad you've joined us today. Check out the sections on the Bottoms Down YouTube channel homepage. They make it easier to find classes by length or by purpose or by body area. And if you haven't already, please click the subscribe button. Don't forget, it's free and we'd love to hear from you, so leave us a comment. In today's practice, we'll explore poses to help with digestion, constipation, and bloating by increasing the blood flow, circulation, and energy to those areas. You'll only need a chair for today's practice. And let's get started. So we're going to move forward in our chair. We're not leaning back. We have our feet firmly ground to the earth, thinking about having all 4 pressure points equally weighted on the floor. And the same thing with those sits bones. We want to make sure that we're equally weighted on the chair. We're not leaning one way or the other. Let's let our hands fall to our thighs. Flip the palms up if that feels okay to you. Engage your belly, lift your heart, pull those shoulders down. Let's close our eyes and take a moment to connect to your heart center. So this is our time. Let go of everything outside of the room and focus on your breath. Let's go ahead and move that breath down into the diaphragm. As you inhale, the belly extends. We're filling the lungs from the bottom up. And as you exhale, actively pull the belly button towards the spine and push the air up and out of the lungs. Do that a couple of times. We're going to move into that rhythmic breath. So as you inhale, we're going to count to 4. And then as you exhale, I want you to exhale to just as many counts as you can before you inhale again. Something like this. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And breathe normally. Bring your hands to your heart. Set your intentions for today's practice. One more breath here. Bring your hands back down to your thighs and open your eyes. So let's do some shoulder rolls. Let's shrug those shoulders up into the ears. Let's pull those shoulders back down and let them fall down towards the mat. Pulling them forward, shrugging them up, squeezing those shoulder blades behind you, and let's reverse those shoulder rolls. So we're squeezing our shoulders behind us. We're shrugging up, pulling those shoulders forward, and down we go. Let's do that again. Does it feel good? Feels good to me. And release. Really good. Okay, clasp your hands behind your back, and if that really doesn't feel too good for you, just grab the back of your chair. It's fine, right? It's all good. Okay? Now, we're going to let our right ear fall towards our right shoulder. Squeeze your shoulder blades behind you, all right? So it's really going to change the dynamics of that neck stretch. I don't know if that feels different to you than just simply letting that ear fall towards the shoulder. But for me, it feels different. All right. Now we're going to drop our chin towards our chest. So try not to lose that squeeze behind. And then we're going to go to the other side. One more breath here. And let's just release that for a moment. We're going to do that one more time. Let's take a moment. Okay, are we ready? Clasp the hands behind the back, lift the heart, squeeze those shoulder blades back behind you. Now, let's drop that left ear first. And drop your chin to chest. Squeeze, don't lose the squeeze behind the back. And then let's do that other side. Head up and release. Let's do those shoulder rolls again. What do you think? Why not, right? And reverse them. All right. So we're going to bring our hands to our heart. And I want you to think about lifting up nice and long through the spine and a little bit open through the throat. Okay, so I'm not like looking up, but just a little openness through that throat. Feel your belly super engaged here. All right, nice and long spine. Are we ready? We're going to move into a cat pose. Take your hands to the thighs, pull your belly in, round down, tuck your chin, and look at your belly button. Now, as we lift up into cow pose, we're going to grab the back of our chair and we're going to squeeze our shoulder blades behind us and look up. So it's very similar to that previous pose, isn't it? We're just holding onto the chair instead of clasping our hands behind our back. Same idea though, open up through that chest. Okay, let's go ahead and move into that cat pose again. Belly button to spine, round down, hands to the thighs, elbows are wide. Let's lift up into cow, grab the back of the chair, open up. Okay, let's inhale here, we're going to add the breath, and exhale into cat. Let's go ahead just kind of at your own pace, just do a few more of those. We're warming up that spine, we're activating some of the blood flow into that gut area. And then let's do that just one final time, right? Beautiful work. All right, and let's release that. Okay, we're going to come into an extended mountain. So let's take our hands towards the ceiling, put the palms together, interlace your fingers. Pointer finger is up towards the ceiling, shoulders are down, belly tight. We're going to lean our mountain. And let's come back up to the ceiling, and we're going to lean the other way. So make sure that both of your sits bones stay grounded and your feet are staying grounded to the floor, okay? So don't let anything hike up. Feeling that stretch. Fingertips to the ceiling. Let's just take a little moment, and then we're going to add a little twist in there. Okay? Let's come back to extended mountain, interlace fingers. Palms are together, pointer finger is to the ceiling. All right, let's go ahead and lean our mountain. And we're going to take a twist and look up at that ceiling. So your belly has to stay really tight here. You should be feeling a pretty significant stretch on this side, right? Keeping that hip down. Don't let that hip hike up. All right, take the twist out, come back up to the ceiling, and let's go to the other side. So we're leaning first. Just whatever feels comfortable for you. I don't want you to feel like you're going to lean and fall off of the chair, anything like that, right? But just lean as much as feels comfortable for you. And then we're going to look up at the ceiling. So we're adding that little twist in there. Belly is tight. You should really feel that left side stretching. One more breath. Take the twist out. Bring the fingertips to the ceiling and bring those hands down. You want to do another shoulder roll? Maybe one at a time. I do. I don't know why, that just feels good to me. And then let's reverse that. I guess it's just a shoulder roll kind of day. Okay, very good. So we're going to move into our crescent lunge. And if you've been with me before, you know that we do this one a lot. But it's just such a good way to get a stretch into that front side of the back leg. So you'll see. Let's take that knee. If this is your first time, welcome. So glad to have you. I will show us everything. So even if I say, hey, we do this one a lot, don't worry. I'll still take us through step by step, okay? No worries. All right, so the first thing we feel is that inner thigh stretch, just the same way that we felt it in our half Lord of the Fishes. Okay, do you feel that? All right, now we're going to let this knee fall down towards the floor. And you feel that, right? So nice stretch into the front side of this leg. Now that could be where you want to stay, facing over that bent knee in front, right? And you're just hanging out here, heart is lifted. Now if you'd like a little bit more, you're going to push this foot back just a little bit. But you're going to stay up on those back toes. Okay, so try to, and that's a stretch for the foot, right? So it's really good. Lifting your heart up. Even if you have shoes on, which is absolutely fine, you're still going to feel the stretch in that foot with those toes tucked underneath. Heart stays lifted, belly is tight. One more breath and release. How did that feel? Nice stretch there? Okay, now the same leg, we're going to extend it out in front of us with our toes to the ceiling, and we're going to do the back side of that leg now, okay? Are we ready? Lengthen. Now, as you come forward, you're keeping your back flat, pyramid pose. So I'm not rounding like we did in cat pose. I'm keeping my back flat, nice long spine, and then I feel that back side of that front leg now. Do you feel that? Let's lift up, and we're going to do that one more time. Nice long spine, keep the back flat. I'm putting my hands on my thighs to give my upper body a little support. I find that works well for me. One more breath, and let's roll it up slowly. Okay, very good. Bring that foot in. Okay, can we do the other side? Here we go, crescent lunge. So let's start with that nice open inner thigh stretch. Now we're going to let this right knee fall right down towards the floor. I don't know if you noticed, but I just adjust on my chair a little bit. I like to move out just a smidge so I feel like that knee can come straight down to the floor. Your choice. All right, I'm looking over that front knee. My heart is lifted. Everything cool? Do you want to try that other version? See if you can push that foot back just a little bit more. Up on those toes, though. Let's get that foot stretched while we're there. Why not? Heart lifts. Let's release that, and we're going to do that one more time. Push the back of that kneecap towards the ceiling. Lift that heart. Belly is super tight here. One more breath here, and release. Very good. Okay, now we got to do the back side of that leg in our pyramid pose. So I'm going to extend it long, toes to the ceiling, lengthen through the spine, pull the belly in, keep the back flat as you let that heart fall forward. How's that feel? So the other thing to think about is keeping the leg straight. So you can have a micro bend to that knee, but try not to really bend the knee. We want to keep that leg straight so that we're getting that hamstring stretched. And it really doesn't matter how far your heart comes down. Let's lift up and do it one more time. So, everybody's body is different, and it really doesn't matter. So you could be here, right? And you're like, okay, I feel my hamstring stretching. Perfect. And you could be, I see people that their heart literally is right up against their thigh. That ain't me. But that's okay. One more breath here, and let's roll it up. Bend that knee, put that foot on the floor, and let's grab a sip of water. We're going to move into some shoulder dips. So we're going to heel, toe, our feet pretty wide. So I want them at least the width of the chair legs, and preferably a little bit wider if that feels okay for you. Now my knees are in alignment with my toes. So my knees are not going to fold in. So if you feel like, okay, well, I can't do that, then I want you to bring your feet a little closer, okay? So definitely you want the knees in alignment with the toes, whatever that means, and whatever width between the knees that means for you, okay? Now, our hands are going to be on our thighs throughout the entire movement. So elbows are going to be wide. We're going to pull our belly in, lengthen through the spine, let your heart begin to fall forward, holding on. So now you'll notice it's not like how low can I get my heart. That's not the idea. You see kind of where my hinging is? Now I'm going to take this right shoulder and I'm just going to let it fall down towards the mat. So you see what I'm doing there? And then I'm going to come up, and then let's do the other side. So there's a twist happening at the rib cage. That shoulder is falling down, but my hand stays on the thigh. So you should feel a pretty good stretch. Let's go ahead and come up, lengthen up, and heel toe in, okay? So take just a little break. Did you feel that? Did you feel how that shoulder, so we're twisting at the ribs and that shoulder is coming across and down. So not only am I feeling a good stretch and action happening here, but it's also happening in the side waist and the back, okay? All right, we're going to do that again. Here we go. Heel, toe, whatever that looks like for you. Make sure your knees are in alignment with the toes. Place the hands right here on the thighs. Pull the belly in. Let that heart fall forward. Keep the back flat so I'm not rounding. Okay? Let's take this shoulder and let it fall forward. You feel that? Should feel good. Up we go. Let's do the other side. And up we go. We're going to do that again. Down we go. That should feel so good. So the upper side of the shoulder and the arm, side waist. I'm feeling a lot of good stretch going on here. Up we go, and let's do the other side. A little twisting happening. Belly is tight. I'm feeling a little bit of stretching into that back. One more breath, and up we go. Okay. Now, if it's okay, we're going to leave our legs right where they are, unless that you really need to take a break. And if you do, then go ahead, while I'm talking, you can go ahead and bring those feet together and take just a moment. But the next pose is called garland pose, Malasana. And so what we're going to do from this wide-kneed position, we're going to begin to let our heart fall forward. And then we're going to take the upper part of this arm and place it right in the inside of that leg, and then the other inside of that arm on the inside of that, outside of the arm on the inside of the leg. Does that make sense? Now you'll notice that my palms are together. So what we have going on here is a bit of a isometric motion, and what that means is I'm pushing in with my legs and I'm pushing out with my arms, okay? So my palms are together. I'm pressing in with my legs and I'm pressing out with my arms. My belly is tight. Do you feel that? So this is one of those movements where you can put as much into it as you want, right? If you really are into it, you're pressing in with all your might with those legs and pressing out with all your might with those arms. One more breath. Let's release it. Go ahead and roll up. Take just a moment. I tell you what, let's bring our feet in and just take a moment here. Okay, because we're going to do that again. Malasana pose. I love this one. So if you're on the mat, you would do this from a squatted position. But I'll tell you what, this is one of those poses you're getting just as much out of it in a seated position. It feels really good. Okay, here we go. Are we ready? Heel, toe, heel, toe. So you do want those toes at that diagonal. Make sure your knees are in alignment. Are we ready? We're going to hinge forward first. You can have those hands here for a little bit of support. Now, we're going to place those, it's kind of the inside of that arm. I call it the elbow, but it's really more of the upper arm. Place it in here. The other side goes on the other side, and then adjust, right? I needed to bring my feet in just a little bit so that I can feel it. Are we ready? Press in with those legs and press out with those arms. Belly is tight. We're really feeling the activation. It doesn't look like I'm doing anything, but boy, do I feel this one. Inner thighs, belly, my back feels it. My arms are active. One more breath. Let's release, and we're going to do it one more time. This is it. Ready? Make it count. Squeeze in with those legs. Press out with those arms. Belly is tight. One more breath and release. How did that feel? That feel okay? All right. Very, very good. Let's heel toe those feet back together. So the next pose we're going to do is called bound angle pose, Baddha Konasana. And I will say that I want you to feel as close to the edge of the chair as is comfortable for you. But once we get into it, if you need to move back a little bit more, it's okay, I understand, all right? So what we're going to do, after I've already moved forward, so if you need to go ahead and take a moment to make sure you're a little bit forward in that chair, go and do that. Hold on to the chair, all right? Now, you're going to put the soles of the feet together, and your knees are just splaying open. So I'm going to give you just a moment to kind of play with that, get that feeling. So my knees are open, right? soles of the feet are together, or whatever works. I mean, if the soles of the feet don't come together for you, that's okay. But I do want you to try to feel the knees open, a little external rotation in those hips. Hold on to that chair. Okay, are we ready? We're going to extend through the spine. Now, the only thing we do in this one is we let our heart fall forward. But I want you to hold the chair, okay? Don't bring your hands to the thighs. I'd rather you hang on to that chair. Let that heart fall forward. Is that feeling okay? All right, we just have one more breath here. Take a deep breath in, and on an exhale, we're going to move back up. Okay. So now I want you to go ahead and just release out of that and make any adjustments you need to make for you. So do you need to move back a little bit more in the chair? Did you feel like you were going to fall off the chair? Did you need to move forward in the chair because the chair is cutting off the circulation in the tops of your legs? Kind of figure that out for you, and let's go into it again. Okay, are we ready? Soles of the feet together, knees are open. Lengthen through the spine and let your heart fall forward. Now, for me personally, if you want to let go of the chair, I feel stable, so I'm going to go ahead and put my hands on my thighs. I think I can get a little deeper into it, but if that feels uncomfortable for you, hang on to that chair, okay? Do what works for you. You're still going to get a great stretch out of it. I don't know about you, but I feel my hips. Do y'all feel that? Hips rotating out, lots of stretch happening. I'm holding on to those thighs. I'm seeing if I can let my heart go any further forward. Oh, yeah. Can we do just one more breath? I know. One more breath here. And let's go ahead. Go ahead and tuck the chin and just roll it up super slowly. Grab that chair and release. So what that does really gets into those hips. So if you do that on the mat, if you're seated, you can do it two ways. One is where you're kind of an open, I call it a butterfly stretch. And then the next one, we're not going to do this one, but you can pull your feet in, right? Lift and hinge. And here, you're going to feel a little bit more into that openness, into the front side of those thighs. If you want to try it, try it. I didn't want to do it because I felt like it might be just a little too much. But if you want to give that one a try, you can give that one a try. What do you think? You feel the difference though, right? So this one, you're going to get a little bit into the back of the hips. I don't know if you feel that. And then this one is going to be a little bit more forward. Okay, enough of that. Let's move on. So now I just want to do a little opposite. So we're going to internally rotate those knees. So again, we're going to heel toe those feet wide, and then we're just going to let our knees fall in. So it's just the opposite. So we often try to do that in yoga. So if we do, one thing, then we try to do the opposite. So, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but if I can incorporate that into my practice, then I always try to do that. All right, let's go ahead and lift up. And then we're going to leave our feet a little bit wide. We're going to end in a child's pose, adding in a forward fold and a ragdoll. So it's going to be 3 distinct movements, and each one is kind of building upon the other. So remember, in my classes, if you don't want to add on, you don't have to. So we're going to start in a child's pose. And it kind of is similar to a seated forward fold, but we're going to begin to let our heart fall forward. So we've got space between our legs, and that's for our belly. So our belly has a place to kind of hang out. Then our arms are going to be on our thighs, but palms are facing down. Okay, so you feel supported there. So you're just going to let your heart begin to fall forward. And then we're going to go ahead and tuck our chin and let that head hang out. So we're just in a little bit of an inversion. And this is your seated child's pose, okay? So now let's go ahead and tuck our chin and roll it up slowly, super slow. So anytime you come into an inversion where your head is down below your heart, it can make you be a little bit dizzy. So we always want to come up slowly. So the next thing we're going to add is a forward fold. So you're in our child's pose, and then if you want a little bit more, all you're going to do is you're going to take your hands, either they're going to come to the floor or they might just be hanging onto your legs, right? But you're going to let your heart fall a little bit further, keeping the back flat. So go ahead and join me. If you want to stay here in your child's pose, that's fine. If you want to go ahead and come on into your forward fold, go ahead and do that. Okay, and now we're just going to go straight to our ragdoll. So what all the ragdoll is going to do is my hands are going to come up off of the mat, and I'm going to grab my elbows. So I'm hanging out, my head is falling towards the floor, and I'm hanging out in my ragdoll. We have one more breath here. Let's drop our hands to the floor. Go ahead and begin to roll up slowly. Maybe you grab the sides of your legs, right, as you roll yourself up. Give yourself a little support to protect that low back. And release. How'd that feel? All right, let's grab a sip of water. We're going to come to standing on the right side of our chair. And we're going to face our chair. So you've got a hand here on the back of the chair. Give yourself a little balance support here at first, okay? Now, the foot that's next to the back of the chair, so it should be your left foot. It's pretty important that you do the correct foot so that when we begin turning, you're turning with your legs, right? Otherwise, you're going to be really going against your whole body, and it's very hard. So let's take that foot. We're going to place it under our chair, not fully under, but I want you, whenever you bend your knee, you're touching your chair. Okay, so that's about how far under that foot is. Now, the other leg, you're going to take a big step back. And that foot is at that 45-degree angle. Okay? Bring your hips forward and bend your front knee. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but see how far away my knee is from my chair? So I'm just going to give myself a little adjustment because I really want to feel that. And the reason is so then you know the back of that chair is close enough for you to grab it if you need it. It's just kind of a good little cue for that. Okay, so now my hips are facing my front knee. You should be pulling your weight back so you really be feeling this back leg. If you think you are like leaning back, you're probably right in the middle. Does that make sense, right? Hang on to that chair, that's fine. Okay, now we're going to bring our hands to heart. If that feels okay to let go of that chair, little balance work, belly tight. Take a deep breath in, and on an exhale, hands to the ceiling for a beautiful warrior one pose. How's that feel? All right. Now, starting with our right hand, we're going to take a deep breath in, and then we're just going to take that arm and windmill it around. You're facing me now in a warrior two. So thinking about where your ribs are in relationship to your leg. I'll guarantee you, most of the time, people want to be here, right? So really pull the ribs back. So you want the head, the neck, and the spine to be in alignment. Looking over those front fingertips, squeezing the muscles against the bones in the arms. Beautiful warrior two. Let's flip that front palm up towards the ceiling, and we're going to reverse our warrior so that fingertips are coming up towards the ceiling first. Then, if it's okay for you, they're going to cross the midline of the body. And there's where you feel the reverse warrior. That side is really stretching. This other hand is back by this leg for a little support here. You feel that? Let's come back to that warrior two. Let's squeeze the muscles against the bones in the arms. Shoulders stay down, belly stays tight. One more breath. And let's release. All right, just step out of that. Okay, how's that feel? Strong warriors, right? Building strength in those legs. Let's come to the other side. So now my right leg is the one that foot's under the chair. Grab the chair, take that step back. Back foot is at that 45-degree angle. Bring those hips forward, bend that front knee. Make any adjustments that you need to make. Get those hips around. Maybe you want to heel toe that front foot out a little bit. That gives those hips a little more grace. That's fine. Pull that belly in, lengthen through that tailbone, bring your hands to heart, and up we go. There's our beautiful warrior one. Okay, take a deep breath in, and then starting with your left hand, you're going to windmill to that warrior two facing me. Peek at this knee. Make sure that knee is tracking into the toe, to the second toe. You don't want the knee folding in. Inner thigh is stretching. Squeeze the muscles against the bones in your arms. Make sure that your ribs are in the center. Let's look over that front fingertips if that feels okay on your neck. Flip that front palm up, and let's reverse our warrior. So remember, we're coming up as high as we can towards the ceiling. Then we're coming past the midpoint, feeling that side waist, stretching, looking up if that feels okay on your neck, looking out if you prefer. One more breath, back to your warrior two. Can you squeeze the muscles against the bones in the arms? Really activate that upper body. One more breath and release. Okay, really, really good. Now we're going to come back to the other side of our chair, and we're going to continue. So I like to do the first ones pretty slowly. I say we build a little muscle memory, so we kind of get a feeling of what it's supposed to feel like, and then our body will go into that pose a little bit more easily before we begin to add on. Okay, so the next thing we're going to add is a triangle pose and a revolved triangle pose. And then we'll be adding a half moon. But I think we're going to do that on both sides, and then we'll go through it a third time and add that half moon. You're like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's fine. I'll take you through the whole thing. All right, let's put that foot there. Remember, bend that knee, step back. Hips come forward, bend the front knee, bring your hands to your heart. Inhale here. Exhale, hands extend into that warrior one pose. Shoulders are down, belly is tight, lengthen through that tailbone. All right, are we ready? We're going to windmill to warrior two, facing me now. You've got it. Flip that front palm up and back. Remember how we reversed our warrior? All right, let's come back to that warrior two. All right, take this front leg, straighten it. Notice how my hips kind of move it at an angle. That's fine, right? Now, upper body and lower body are two totally separate things at this point. All I want you to move is your upper body. Your lower body stays exactly where it is. Are we ready? Upper body moves over the chair. Over the chair. Over the chair. It just isn't going to move anymore. Then just simply let that hand fall down into the chair, and here we are in a beautiful triangle pose. Okay, so the hand that's in the air, we're going to bring that to our waist, and then we're going to lift our heart. So this is the idea in triangle, is we're lifted. We're not letting ourselves sink down our chest to the mat. We want the chest to be out. And if you want to add that arm, add that arm. You don't have to. Okay, so now what we're going to do is revolve our triangle. So the hand that's in the air or that's on the waist, we're going to bring it around and we're going to put it on the chair. Now, the other arm is going to open up. You're revolving your triangle and you're looking over the back of your chair now. So I will tell you, the arm that's in the air, it needs to be in alignment with the shoulders. So you're not trying to get the arm up as high as it'll go. It's only as high as your ribs can twist. So the shoulders are not doing the work. The work is right at the rib cage. One more breath. Bring that hand back down to the chair. Did that make sense? Open it back up. Is your front leg straight? Have you bent it? Don't bend it. I know. One more breath. Now bend it. And come back up into warrior two. And release. Okay. Let's do that on the other side. Okay. Foot is under the chair. Step back. Remember, we're at that 45-degree angle. We're not up on those back toes. We're at that foot is flat. Bring the hips forward. Bend that front knee. Bring your hands to heart, belly tight, lengthen through the tailbone, hands to the ceiling. Here we go. Warrior one. Move to your warrior two. Let's flip that palm up and back. Back to warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Upper body only comes over the chair, comes over the chair, comes over the chair, and then that hand comes down into the chair and your heart lifts. You want to put that hand on that waist, do so. Lift that heart a little bit higher. If you want to add the arm back, do so. Your choice. Okay, we're going to revolve our triangle. The hand that's in the air, we're going to bring it to the chair. The opposite arm is going to extend out, and we're going to twist and look over the back of our chair, remembering to keep the alignment of the shoulders and the arm. We're not overextending that shoulder. The twist is happening right at the rib cage. One more breath. Bring that hand back to the chair. Open back up. Bend the knee. Press up. And release. Okay, final piece to the puzzle is our half moon. Half moon will be in our triangle, right? We'll come up, we'll bend our front knee. Then all we're going to do is we're going to lift this back leg and we're going to lift up into a half moon. Okay? So if that doesn't feel good to you and you don't want to do it, leave it out. Hang out in triangle. You've got your chair for support if you want to give it a try, right? But only if you want to. Okay, are we ready? We're going to start from the very beginning. Put that foot under the chair, back foot flat. Bend the, bring those hips around. Bend that front knee. Bring hands to heart. Inhale. Exhale, fingertips to ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, round it around to that triangle. To warrior two, excuse me. Looking over those front fingertips. Ready to reverse our warrior? Flip that palm up and back. Back to that warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Ribs come over that front leg. Come over that front leg. Come over that front leg. And then down into the chair. Open it. We're going to leave out the revolved triangle. All right. Are we ready for half moon? We're going to come back. Bend that front knee. Take a deep breath in. On an exhale, up you go. Grab that chair and lift up into your half moon. One more breath. Bend the front knee. Back foot comes back down. Squeeze the muscles against the bones in your arms and release. Can we do the other side? I know, right? Woo! Last side. We got this. Hips forward, bend that front knee, bring your hands to heart. I know there's a lot to do, right? Hands to the ceiling. Inhale here. Exhale, move to that warrior two. Let's reverse our warrior. Flip that palm up and back. Let's come back to that warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Bring those ribs over. Bring those ribs over. Bring them over. Put that hand in the chair and open into your triangle pose. That front leg is straight. Okay, are we ready? Let's bend the front knee back to that warrior two. We're going to get ready for that half moon. Inhale here. Exhale. And up we go into that half moon. We have one more breath. Okay, bend that front knee. That leg comes back down. Warrior two. Squeeze the muscles against the bones in those arms and release. Very good. How did that feel? We worked hard, didn't we? We're not done. Okay, we're on the right side of our chair. And again, I want you to come forward so that your feet are about in alignment with the front legs of the chair. Now, the left leg, the leg next to the chair, you're going to take a step back, but you're going to be up on those back toes. Okay, so it's a high crescent lunge. Now, pull that belly in, and if you can, you're going to let go of the chair, and you're going to bring your hands to your heart. If you want to hang on to it, I understand. Crescent lunge is a balance challenge. It's okay. The other thing to think about is having your feet on railroad tracks, not on a tight rope, so you want a little bit of space between those legs. That helps too. Okay, if you're ready and you feel like it says okay, we're going to let go of that chair and bring our hands to heart. Can you bend that front knee anymore? Oh yeah. Heart lifts. We're not letting our weight come forward. We're bringing that weight back. Inhale here, exhale, hands to the ceiling. Inhale here, exhale, we're going to twist to face our chair. Inhale here, exhale, fingertips back to the ceiling. Inhale, exhale, we're going to twist the other way. Back, hands to the ceiling. Bring your hands back to heart. Grab the chair and step forward. That feel okay? Okay, I think we're going to do it from this side of the chair. We're just going to do the other leg, okay? So again, you want to come forward. That other leg now is going to step back. You got that chair right there if you need it. You're up on those back toes. Remember, railroad tracks, not a tightrope. Bend that front knee. See if you can sink down into it any deeper. High crescent lunge. Are you feeling the front side of that back leg? Yeah, I am too. All right, are we ready? Belly tight. Belly is the key to balance. We're going to let go of that chair and we're going to bring our hands to our heart. Does that feel okay? Get your balance, belly tight. Can you sink any deeper into that crescent lunge? Hands to the ceiling. Okay, now we're going to start by twisting against the chair, or away from the chair. Here we go. Oh yeah. Down and around, fingertips back to the ceiling. And then we're going to twist the other way. Fingertips back up to the ceiling. Can you deepen that lunge anymore? One more breath. Bring your hands to heart, hands to the chair. Bring that back foot forward and have a seat. Wow. Good work. Let's grab a sip of water. We're going to move into extended mountain. So go ahead and bring your hands to heart. Now, we're going to take a deep breath in. And on an exhale, we're going to extend those fingertips towards the ceiling, pulling the shoulders down, belly is tight. Really feel that extension. So I'm trying to touch the ceiling with my fingertips. My belly is super tight. All right, we're going to take that right hand and we're going to place it on the chair. Left hand is going to lengthen up, and then we're going to lean into that stretch. Keeping the opposite hip down. This hip stays down. You should feel a good stretch in that side waist. One more breath. Let's come up and let's do the whole thing again. Bring your hands to heart. All right, let's extend that mountain. Shoulders are down, belly is tight. Let's take that left hand to the chair. Lengthen up through that right hand. Try to touch the ceiling. Now lean into it. You've got your hand on that chair for support. So maybe you can deepen that leaning mountain just a little bit. One more breath here. And up we go. Okay. We're going to move forward in the chair. Take your feet out and have them a little bit of distance between them. Okay? Grab that chair, squeeze your shoulder blades behind you, lifting your heart, let your knees fall to the left. And let's come center. And then we're going to let our knees fall to the other way. And come center. Let's do that one more time. Knees fall. And up. And they fall the other way. And up. And let's take a moment. So you can keep doing that if you want to. Windshield wiper knees. Or we're going to add a little thing onto that. So see how it feels, and if it doesn't feel good, you know you can just go back to your windshield wiper knees, okay? So remember, got a little bit of space between those legs. Belly stays tight, lifting the shoulders, lifting the crown of the head to the ceiling, but the shoulders down. Let's go ahead and grab the back of our chair. Squeeze that the shoulder blades behind. Let's let those knees fall to the right. Now, you're going to take your right foot and you're just going to place it on that left leg. You see what I did there? So all I'm doing is now this leg is giving me a little more leverage. I'm keeping my hips on the chair. So you don't want to let that hip come around or you're losing the stretch, right? You want to keep the hips back on the chair and let the leg be the thing moving, and that's giving you a good stretch here. One more breath. All right, let's go ahead and take that leg off. Readjust onto your chair. Okay, let's do the other side. So we're going to let the knees fall first. Actually, let's not let the knees fall first. Let's lift up first, pull the belly in, grab your chair, squeeze your shoulder blades. Now let's let those knees fall. All right, are we ready? We're going to take this knee, so the left is going to rest up on that right leg. It doesn't matter which one you're doing, right? Just we're going to do both sides anyway. So personally, I feel this side more. So obviously, this hip and glute is a little tighter than the other one. Super common. One more breath. All right, let's come up. Wow, take that leg off. Man, I felt that one. We're going to move back a little bit in our chair, and we're going to move into cobra pose. So what you want is the back of the chair to be right on the inside of that arm, okay? So you're going to, I don't know, I'm going to lean back even further. You can actually lean back in the chair. We don't get to do that often, do we? And I'm going to place my arms on the side of that chair, and then I'm just going to wrap my arms back, my hands back behind and grab, okay? And then I'm going to lift through my sternum. So I'm lifting up. I'm feeling openness happening through the chest, right? A little bit of openness in the belly. Just one more breath. Let's go ahead and release that. And we're going to do that one more time, okay? So I'm grabbing the back of that chair, really squeezing my arms back, right, against the chairs. It gives me a little bit of leverage as I lift through the sternum. If you want to lift the gaze a little bit, that's okay too. One more breath, and let's release. That's good work. I know it's one of those that when you see somebody doing it, you think, well, there's nothing to that until you actually do it, and then you really feel what's happening through the chest and everything. So we're going to move to a seated camel, and we're going to place our hands on each side of the spine. You stay facing me. Just one hand on each side of the spine, right in the small of the back. And then I'm just going to push forward. So I'm pushing my hips forward. I'm lifting up through the sternum, and my gaze is going forward and up. Let's go ahead and release that. Take just a moment. And remember, if it feels better for you to use your fists instead of the palms of the hands, that's okay too. So let's do that one more time. This time I'll use the fist just to demonstrate that one. Push your hips forward, squeeze your shoulder blades behind you, lifting your heart. One more breath here, and release. Very good. We're going to move into a little seated twisting segment. So I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to place it against the side of that opposite knee. I'm going to take my other hand and put it back here on the chair. Now I'm going to pull my shoulder back and I'm going to turn and I'm going to look over that shoulder. Just one more breath here. Let's go ahead and face forward, and let's do the other side, okay? So this hand is going to go on the outside of that knee. Opposite hand is going to come to the chair. Lift through the crown of the head, lengthening through the spine. Belly stays tight. Bring the shoulder back, then turn and look over that shoulder. One more breath here. and release. Okay, very, very good. Now, you can keep doing that same version if you want, but if you want a little bit more, we're going to cross our legs as well. Okay, so I'm going to cross my right leg over my left. I'm going to take my left hand and I'm going to place it on the outside of that knee. My opposite hand comes back to the chair. Lift through the crown of the head. Pull that right shoulder back. Turn and look over that shoulder. Now, if you want, you can press your hand against that knee and give yourself a little leverage here. Only if that feels okay for you. One more breath. Let's go ahead and face center, and let's do the other side. Remember the hand, so, my left leg is on top, so my right hand is the one that's going to come out. So it's just kind of the opposite. So, and this hand is going to be back on the chair. Let's pull that shoulder back. Let's turn, look over that shoulder, and then I'm pressing with my right hand into that leg just to give myself a little more twist. But again, that's only if that feels okay for you. One more breath here, and let's face forward. Good job. Okay, unravel those legs. Now, let's take that left leg and extend it out in front of us, toes to the ceiling. We're going to lengthen nice and long through the spine, hold on to the thighs, let the heart fall forward into that pigeon pose. So the key to this one, to getting the most out of this pose, is keeping the back flat and keeping the legs straight. All right, let's tuck our chin and roll up and do it one more time. Extend nice long through the spine. Keep the back flat. Let that heart fall forward. Feel that stretch. And up we go. Okay, let's do the other side. Extending that right leg long, toes to the ceiling, lengthen through the spine, let that heart fall forward. Tuck the chin and roll it up. And let's do that again. Lengthen and hinge. Tuck the chin and roll it out. Excellent work. I'm going to take my right ankle and I'm going to cross it over that left leg. So it's in front of the knee. You don't want it on the knee. Now your other option for this one is just to cross ankle to ankle, if that feels better for you. Seated pigeon. Now, let's just hang out here for a few breaths and see how that feels. It could be all you need. And you're like, yeah, this is good for me. All right. Let's just take this knee and flutter it a little bit. Just moving that hip joint a little bit. Okay. Now, if you want to try it, you can lengthen through the spine and begin to let that heart fall forward. See how that feels. Again, the back stays flat. All right, let's go ahead and roll up. And let's move that hip joint a little bit again. And then we'll do that one more time. So you've got those two options. The final option is you're just pressing gently on that leg. So the leg is being pressed down as I am letting my heart fall forward. Again, it's just if it feels okay for you. Okay, let's all come up and unravel that. And then we're going to go to the other side. So remember, you've got the option of ankle to ankle if that feels better for you. I will tell you, though, you want to keep this foot out. So as you cross, you're going to get some stretch here. Because if you bring this foot in and cross, you're not going to feel anything, okay? So make sure this foot stays out. Let's cross ankle up on top of that thigh. And we're hanging out here first. We're just going to let our body kind of react to what we're asking it to do. Just a little stretch here for this side of the hip. Okay, let's just do a little flutter. Another version is where you lengthen through the spine and let the heart fall. You feel it? Okay, let's go ahead and come up and do another little flutter. And then the final version, if you want, extending nice and long through the spine, letting the heart fall forward, and then just gently pressing on that leg. One more breath. All right, very good. Let's release. Okay, we're going to sit back in our chair. Hands are resting lightly on the thighs. Lift the palms up towards the ceiling. Close your eyes and breathe.
Quality time. Give quality time to yourself. Give quality time to others. Spend time doing what helps you feel good about yourself, about the people around you, about the world you live in. Do what improves your health, your relationships, your understanding, your sense of well-being. Seek out areas of your daily life where you can add your own unique flavor of excellence. Devote time, thought, and effort to increase the amount of joy in your world. The moments you focus on quality will continue to bring benefits long after those moments have passed. The joys you add to the experience of life can never be taken away. Each day, you have a finite amount of time available. Make it your mission to spend that time enhancing, enjoying, and sharing life's best qualities. Enable life to more fully experience its own richness. With your attitude, your outlook, and your actions, make as much of your time as you can into quality time.
Let's take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Reach up with the right hand. Give the head a gentle tug as you press that left hand down towards the floor. Release it. Drop your chin towards the chest. Reach up with the hands. Give the head a gentle tug. Release it. Drop the left ear towards the left shoulder. Reach up with the left hand. Give the head a gentle tug as you press that right hand down towards the floor. Release it. Looking up just slightly. Open your mouth if you want to stretch your jaw. Bring your hands to your heart. Honoring one another, we say Namaste. Thank you so much for joining today. Remember, click on that subscribe button, and I will see you next time.